Welcome back to Mona's Corner, where I'm telling you a story that happened to me. So I hate saying story because it almost sounds made up, but I promise you I'm spitting nothing but facts. And my family can back this up because most of them know what happened. So let's get to it. So, you know how parents have a favorite. They can tell you to your face that they don't have a favorite, but behind closed doors, your parents have a favorite child. Every single parent will have their favorite. I don't care if you're a parent and you want to tell me different, you're wrong. You're lying to yourself. Because it's just truth. It's just truth. And you will see it when the time comes. And your children will eventually see it when the time comes. Because boy, do I see it with my Nona. And it's sad. I don't want to say she's choosing the wrong kid. I don't want to say anything bad because love is love. And obviously she's going to love both kids the same. But she's definitely going to favor one over the other. And let's just say she picked the wrong one. Because she did. But I have a theory on why she picked that one. And it's kind of messed up. So. So a little background. My parents are divorced. And my mom got custody of me and my sister. So I've lived with my mom my entire life, right? She had a divorce. I think this was back in 2017, 2017, in between there. So we were forced to move out with her, right? That's another story for another time on those adventures. But my point to this is we were living in an apartment. My mom is on disability, so she only gets a certain amount of income every month, right? I have a job. I've had a job since I graduated high school. So 2019, or yeah, 2018, 2019, but 2019 is when I started my first job at Chick-fil-A. Yeah. And at that time, I don't really know, to be honest. I just know I wasn't really paying bills other than my own. Anyways, so we were living, I was living with my mom. These apartments, I can tell you a whole story about those apartments. Like, I'm probably going to record so many videos today because, like, all the stories that are just coming to mind, like, are wild. They're wild. So if you see this shirt in, like, the next, I don't know, 5-10 videos, mind your business. They're all recorded the same day. Because I like to talk. And I'm sorry if you can hear the toilet flushing. And I'm sorry if you can hear noises. But this house that I'm living in is so small. Anyways, not the point. So, I'm living with my mom and my sister in this apartment. This apartment decides to raise rent. My mom can't afford it. And something was happening with her disability money, where she was getting less than what she was supposed to, which caused her to struggle. Now, the job that I had at the time, which was I was work from home at Alorica. I was getting paid decent, but not enough to afford a whole month of rent. Like, I think the rent ended up being over $1,000. I think it was either 1,100 or 1,200. I can't exactly remember, but it was enough to where I could not afford it. Like I could barely pay half of it. So my nana, she helped. There were times where we needed money for things and she would help us. So I'm not saying like she's a terrible person. That's not what this is about. But she definitely favors one over the other. So my mom had 2 siblings. My tia passed away, I don't know, maybe 2013, 2012. I'm not too sure. It happened when I was really young, is all I know. And I was in middle school. But she also has an older brother, and that's my tio. And that's my nana's favorite child. And you guys can agree, you guys can disagree, but when you hear this story, you can tell me otherwise. So he is known to abuse alcohol, to the point where he's been arrested multiple times, been in jail multiple times. My mom says he probably doesn't have a driver's license because of how many times he's been in trouble. So there's that. My nana has bailed him out many times, obviously. Her sister, my nana's sister, has also put up bail money for him. But my mom has never been in any kind of legal trouble like that. So, we're at this apartment. We can't afford the rent. We have to move out. The house that I'm currently living in was once my cousin's house. She was renting, but she couldn't afford to live here either because this rent was going up to $1,000, and that's what my mom was paying at the apartment. So she was like, I could live here. So her and my sister moved here because this is a 2-bedroom house. Obviously, 3 people couldn't fit in 2 bedrooms, in 1 bedroom. So I had to find somewhere else. I'm the only one that could like talk to my nana and whatever, right? Plus I like baking, so I wanted to learn cakes. That's again a whole nother story. So I thought, well, I could live with my nana. Well, actually, hold on. Wait, pause. Let's rewind a little bit. So when we first told her about this, right? Because she has a house. Her husband passed. She has an entire house. It has 3 bedrooms. It could be 4 bedrooms. I really hope you can't hear the background. But, so we told my nana about this, right? And we were like, we're going to need somewhere to stay for a while until we can get the money to get another apartment. So she was like, okay, you guys can live here. Like, obviously there's a space for it. I don't have a problem with that. So, hold on. Alright, sorry about that. I don't know if you guys can hear the music in the background, and if you can, I apologize. But I'm already too deep in the story to start over. 8 minutes in, like, I already had to restart this. So, where was I? Oh, we had told her, right? Can we live with you? She says yes. And then, I get a call from her. And she says, my son's getting out of jail, and he needs somewhere to live, so he's gonna live with me. I was like, okay, so what? She's like, so that means you guys can't move in here. We were like, wow, okay. So obviously we were all upset, right? Because there's 3 of us and 1 of him. He's supposed to go to a rehab center rather than living with her. For good reason. Because he got out for domestic abuse, kidnapping, his wife. He was holding her against her will. He gets arrested for this. Alcohol abuse, domestic violence. And he gets let out, and he wants to live with her rather than going to a rehab facility, which is what he's supposed to do. So, obviously, I was upset with that. we were all upset about that because we're like, great, now we have to find somewhere else to live. Like, where else are we gonna go? So my luckily my cousin had this house that I was talking about, but I still needed somewhere to be because three of us, like, this room is a decent size. I won't lie, but if you think about three people being in this room, there's absolutely no way. Even when it was just my mom and my sister, like, that was even hard for them. So I needed to find somewhere to live. So I had to, put on my big girl underwear and call my nana and be like, hey, I know you said we all couldn't go there, but can I just go there? My mom and my sister have found somewhere else to live. And she's like, okay, but only you. I was like, yeah, it is only me. So I ended up being the only one living with my nana, right? The things that happened there. Ooh. So at least she agreed to that, right? But then money things happened, right? She thought my mom was stealing money from her because her card was getting charged for Uber. I'm pretty sure everybody nowadays is familiar with Uber. It didn't say Uber Eats. It just said Uber. But I was like, why would my mom use Uber? Like, she literally uses her own car or my car. Like, it didn't make any sense for Uber to be charged to my nana. And my nana has no idea what Uber is. Like, she's never used Uber Eats. She's never used Uber. I have no idea. And to this day, I still don't know how that was even happening. And then something happened where my nana helped my mom pay for my mom's car payment. And the place ended up keeping my nana's credit card on file and ended up charging my nana's credit card the next month. And my nana thought it was her. So my nana calls me, right? And she's like, I can't believe you. I can't believe you let your mom do this. Da 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 da. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, you let your mom steal money from me so that she could pay her car and yada yada yada. And I was like, I have no part of that. I had no idea that even happened. How was I supposed to know that her car was paid with your credit card? Like, I had nothing to do with it. So then she told me, she's like, yeah, you can't live here. And I was like, are you kidding me? So that's the second time she told me that I can't move in there. So I ended up telling her, like, I don't know how this happened. I talked to my mom and she was like, obviously the place kept her credit card, charged her credit card. My nana ended up getting the money back. And then my nana ended up apologizing to me for going off. And I was like, so can I live there? She's like, yes, you can still come and live here. So I get there. That was the first example of the favoritism. She chose her criminal son to live with her over her two grandchildren and her daughter. Two grandchildren and a daughter for one son. One son. So if you want to argue that that's not favoritism, please, especially if you're a parent and if you were to pull something like this, tell me it's not favoritism. Tell me wrong. Tell me wrong. But the fact that she chose him over us, that already, like, left a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, but things, and then, he ended up messing up. He started abusing alcohol again, and he had gone off on me. Luckily, he didn't hit me. There was, it was kind of verbal abuse, I guess you could say, because he was calling me names. He was saying that I was doing things that I was not doing. Like, he was trying to say that I was controlling my nana and gonna take her money from her, which I was not. But a little conspiracy, a little theory, I think he said that because that's his plan, is to control her and take her money. But like that was not the purpose of me living there. I was living there because I had nowhere else to live. Anyways, so that all happened. I recorded that video, but I don't think I have it anywhere. Because I had recently gotten a new phone, and that video was on that phone, and I couldn't transfer everything because the phone that I had before this phone, it like that phone didn't want to turn back on, so I lost everything. Otherwise, I would post the video because why not? It happened to me, and he's gonna continue. I hope he doesn't. I hope he finally learned his lesson, and hopefully that was the last time he went to jail, because he went back. I think he like turned himself in or something, and he ended up in a rehab. But yeah, scared me. My gosh, I think my mom's outside doing stuff. Oh, so it's. I'm now really confused on who is who is playing loud music in the bathroom, and who is outside moving stuff. Because that's not cool. And again, I don't know what you guys can hear because I can't stop it. Otherwise, I'd be doing what I said and not editing. So I don't want to do that. So, well, I guess that was kind of the only thing that really like stuck out to me, and then the fact that he went off on me. I guess she did kick him out after he did that because she was like, there's no reason for him to go off on you like that. And if you want to know that entire story, maybe I'll tell it right now because it's fresh in my mind and I just remembered it. So I'll probably tell it in the next video. So if you want to hear that, subscribe, click that bell notification so you can get notified when that one goes up because it's gonna. But yeah, and then my thoughts of past. My nana turned on my mom, and she made my mom think that, well, no. My nana turned on my mom because my nana thought my mom was gonna steal her money. When that, like, my mom did not want anything to do with her money, and my mom doesn't care about money like that. So, that's also why, like, things got just messed up because of what my nana was saying about my mom and how she's always talking down about my mom, like, oh, my mom's unsuccessful, and oh, my mom likes to steal money and all this and that. And I'm just like, okay, but your son's been to jail. My mom hasn't. Yeah, my mom's not the greatest with like money and stuff, but she's hasn't been arrested for the same thing many times. And so that's another thing, is like my nana started spreading rumors that my mom was stealing money, right? Because that's what caused her to go off on my mom when my tata passed and like yell at my mom saying, I want all of my paperwork, everything back. I don't want you to know anything about my bank accounts, or I don't want you to have access to anything. And like went off on her. My cousin Jasmine, oh, I said names. Well, their names are kind of out there, my cousins, because they were on my other YouTube channel. Anyways, so my cousin was there and she saw the whole thing like go down. Like my nana didn't even know my cousin was there until I told her, and I was like, you went off like that, and my cousin was there. She was like, oh my gosh, she was. She's like, how embarrassing. And I was like, yeah. Um, so I have someone to attest to that other than my mom and my sister. A whole nother story. My sister's no longer with us. She passed away last year. Anyways, again, like I said, a lot has happened to me in the past years. So you're gonna get a lot of stories from me. Some sad, some will probably bring you anger. So yeah. So that was another thing is like my nana was saying, oh, Connie. I mean, my mom's name is gonna be out there eventually. So yeah. Um, she was spreading rumors that were not, they were not true. Still aren't, unless my mom's a great liar and she lied to me that she took money from my nana, which I don't think is true. But yeah. And then I I honestly don't know if my Theo is living with my nana. I thought he was because his truck was there like a few times when I would go over because I get mail still over there. So when I would go over pick up mail, like his truck used to be there. It's not there anymore. So I don't know. But I guess that was a story because I can't really think of other incidences other than that major one. Like, how are you gonna tell your daughter with two daughters that they can't live with you, but you're gonna say yes to your son, who obviously should have went to a rehab facility since he was only out for I want to say because I think I moved in with her in October, and maybe he was there till January or December. So he was only out for a few months before he relapsed. So obviously, dude should have been in a rehab facility, and my sister and my mom should have been living there. But what do I know, right? Um, yeah, and after that, like I saw my nana differently, and I think that she really does favor one over the other. Because again, if you are a parent, and if you are a parent and you have grandkids, if your child was in the situation that my mom was in, okay, I guess I need to give a little bit of back for here. My what? My Theo and my mom do not get along because my Theo is, and I've seen this, like these, like I'm not telling lies. I promise I am not telling lies. Hand to God, no lies are being told here. This is all truth. And I'm going to say nothing but truth, unless it's a theory. Then I'll say it's a theory, but nothing but truth here. That my Theo has abused alcohol his entire life since he was a teenager, and has been in trouble with the law since he was a teenager. So, for my Nana to choose him over my mom and her grandkids, like, that hurt me on a level that I don't think I could heal from. Because, yes, even though she allowed me to live there, she still turned down my mom and my sister. And that was not okay. Like, at all. I mean, I don't think, well, now my mom doesn't get along with my Nana, like, at all. My mom could barely be in a room with her. But that was, again, another story. um, but it just comes down to, like, everything that's happened between my mom and my Nana, like, has definitely shown that my Nana doesn't care about my mom the way she cares about her son. I wish you guys could just look into my brain and see everything so I don't have to tell it, because it can get confusing. Because even I get confused on how it even happened. So, that's that, I guess. It wasn't very interesting, but it definitely took a toll on my heart, and just to know that, like, my nana would choose one child over a child and grandkids. And I will definitely never do that to my kids. If my kids don't get along, I'm like, okay, you guys don't get along, but you both can live here, and your kids. And I want any parents, oh, that's what I was saying. I want any parents out there that have grandkids, if you were in this predicament, what would you guys do? Would you turn down one for the other? Or would you try and make both work? Because if it was me, I'd be like, nope, you need to go to rehab because that's where you belong, because you're going to relapse exactly what he did. When he goes to rehab, he can last years outside of prison or outside of jail. But he didn't go to rehab. He left the jail and went straight to her house, which was the problem. And if only she knew that, that could have saved some heartache. But a theory. So my tata passed away. That's not a theory. Sorry, wait. My tata passed away 2022. And my tío looks a lot like my tata. And my theory is, since my nana lived her entire life, well, she's still alive, she still lives. My nana has lived her entire life with a man who does everything for her. My theory is that she would rather have a man in her house than 3 women. She wants that man, to take care of her, and she thinks that a man should be in charge of the house. And that's why I think she didn't want us all to live there, and she'd rather him live there than us, when he's not going to take care of her the way we would have. Yeah. That was a little theory there, which I think speaks more truth than anything. And what's also sad is that, I don't know. I don't know the will. I don't know what. I'm pretty sure, unless she changes it, that the will obviously, like, once she passes, everything's going to get passed down to her children, which is just my mom and her brother. And I'm thinking, like, my mom says she wants absolutely nothing. Like, if it says that, she's saying that her brother can take everything. And to me, like, that house, it means something to me. I grew up there. It's not a bad house. Like, obviously there could be some things done to it to make it better, which is what I'd want to do. I'd want to keep that house in the family. My tata passed away in that house. My sister passed away in that house. So, which means, like, do I really want that house? I do. I actually do. And just to know that it's more than likely going to him, and it's more than likely, or he's gonna sell it. Like, it would go to him, and he would end up selling it, maybe, or living there and messing it up if he doesn't fix his life. And that makes me sad. Like, I want that house, but the chances of me ever getting that house is very slim. I've never talked to her about it, but I feel like it would be pointless, because she's more than likely just gonna want it to go to her son, who knows. I haven't talked to him since the incident. that happened between me and him because I have PTSD from it. So, that's my next story I'm going to tell because I might as well. Alright, thanks for listening to my story. Sorry it wasn't as juicy as you thought, but the next one is going to be because it's juicy. I even recorded it, but I don't have the footage because, like I said, my phone messed up. Because otherwise, if I had the footage, I'd put it out there because, you know what? It's part of my story now. So, again, put them out, but put that bell notification because I'm not sure when this video is gonna come up. I'm not sure when the next video is gonna come up. But yeah. And again, let me know down below. Am I right or am I wrong that every parent has a favorite child? Am I right or am I wrong? I think I'm right. So let me know down below if you are a parent and if you have a favorite child, or if you are a child of a parent who has multiple kids. Let me know. Are you the favorite? Or do you think one of your siblings are? Let me know, and I'll tell you mine. I think my dad, I think his favorite child is my brother, who okay, so I have two brothers. One is from my mom and her ex-husband. Another brother is from my dad and his wife. So I think my dad's favorite is my brother because he's more successful, yada yada. And my mom, it was once me. I don't believe that now. I think it was my sister. But now, I don't know. It could still be my sister, who knows. But again, let me know down below. Bye. Okay, bye.